Eliza Pinckney Mansion. So, who the heck were Charles and Eliza Pinckney? Well, first off, let me give you the layout of the land. We're going to get you unmuted until I get through the history. Or keep it on mute, sorry. So again, the problem with me with that is because I'm trained to listen to it, and I will lose focus of the history, and like, where the hell was I? Because I want to listen to that instead. The mansion actually sat in the front of the space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant, went right through us, all the way to the other side. And then the servant and slave quarters were in the back of the space. So that kind of gives you the layout of the land. So who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Charleses, in case you lost track of how many that was. That's why we look for secondary clues, everybody. In the event that somebody gets the name Charles on a spirit box, I look for the verifier from another one. So that way I know which one is starting to come through. Now, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a big deal for us. But I hate politics more than everybody here. We're going to move on to Eliza because she has a much better story anyway. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say that because if you're going to ask Eliza how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from when young women got married at the ages of 12 and 14. Think of today's standards, because the husband was over double her age when they got married. It was a creepy age gap back then. It's a creepy age gap now. Now, back to Eliza. She marries Charles because her father is over in England, where she's from, and he thinks he's dying. He's trying to, bring all of his children home one last time so he can see them. Eliza doesn't believe he's dying, so she stays put and gets married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. It doesn't exist. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story. This is not a gory whatever. Like, this is a raised emotion, true love story of why we're here. So when you guys are out and about, please be respectful, and there was no foul play even after Charles's death. No affair, no anything like that. So just be respectful while we're here. But back to Eliza, she was right. Dad didn't die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where we're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye, that makes our blue jeans blue. Some of you are wearing it tonight, because that's how we use it today. Now, when she got a seed, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. It's not hot here all the time, guys. So then she learned how to make the dye. Then moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of Dad overseas and told him the rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial days. Something absolutely unheard of. Now, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here. At least that's why Madeline's here. So, with each set of spirit boxes, I'm going to kind of give you guys a set of focus questions, so that way you have something to work with. But keep in mind, all of your communication devices, and then we have 3 cameras, plus my voice recorder, the answers can go anywhere. If Teresa asks a question, the answer can go to Don's audio from his camera. Yes, all 3 cameras, except for Justin's, video cameras, I gotta really point that out, actually record audio as well. So we never know where these answers are gonna go. So you can cherry pick off of somebody else's questions, but I base this off of what type of spirit box or communicator that you're using. So kind of go along with that. Perfect. Julia and Madeline are standing right next to each other. You're gonna have the same set of questions because you have the same spirit box. So you're gonna focus on Eliza's death. 4 major things that we commonly get the answers to here, because she's pretty open about talking about it. How old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are the 4 majors. If you ask anything else about her death, just be respectful. Just kind of keep that in mind. Next, communication. So we're going to go with Teresa, and then so it'll be Amy. So you guys are going to have like a kind of a combo as well, just because of what you're using. What the Eliza that I just told you about was the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. So it's kind of a jerk move because both of them were named Eliza. And it was 5 months apart, by the way. First wife dies in January. 5 months later, he marries the one I just told you about. So both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. So you're going to be looking for her initials, ELP, and you're going to be looking for the maiden name. You don't know what it is. That way I know which Eliza we're dealing with here tonight. I'm also going to give you the marriage questions. So how old she was, or Charles, or how long the marriage was. That thing will give you numbers as well. So sometimes it comes up in numerals, sometimes it spells it out. We never know how it's going to pop up. That's the fun part about this. Next communication device is going to be Megan. So Megan and Chad, you guys are going to have the same set of questions as well. And that's a nice and easy one.
Yeah, it's just picking up people.
Give us 1 or 2 syllables at a time. The mansion's not here anymore. What happened to it? If you get the tragedy, or we get the tragedy somewhere else, we often will get the 2 or 3 numbers of the date of when that occurred. They're very specific numbers, so kind of keep an ear out for that. But again, everybody's going to be telling me all of the silly things that they're hearing out of their spirit boxes, no matter if it's an answer to your question or not. Because again, it could go anywhere. That's the whole fun of this. The other thing I'm going to ask of everybody is please do not ask about Eliza's children. So I will explain before we leave the space. We will poke the bear with a group this size. What's going to happen is I'm going to do one full round robin with everybody just to kind of see what's going on with their devices and bring us back. I'm going to keep Amy behind so I can show her a little bit more about that little Ouija board device and she knows how to use it. Has anybody seen any other numbers come up on theirs? Lenny, you've had nothing?
Well, sometimes like if you move it up and down, it seems like it changes.
So when you're moving, like if you like you just moved it pretty quick, it's picking up on the energy of the movement. So the more still you are, like flat-handed, so that's where you're going to probably pick up more of an actual reading. So we've already had a 9 like show up here. I'm hoping to get a lot higher than that in this location. So you're on the right track though. All right, guys, let's spread out, stay away from the vehicles, and let's do this. Let's get those video cameras running and spirit boxes unmuted. Megan's ready. She's like, damn it, I want to get to work already. 11.
We got
Perfect.
11, 24.
Nice.
Ready?
I am recording right now.
No.
Wait, I feel you pictured of me.
Oh.
At the top. See the numbers at the
All
top?
the crap I was looking at.
There you go.
You got it.
Don't worry, it wasn't anything. I'm taking pictures.
Oh no, so every once in a while I'm going to come to you and I'm going to take a look at the list and I'll kind of see where we're at. So that way I can kind of go through it and then you just circle back. So both your buttons are on the right. So middle right, top right. Nice and easy. Yeah, so we got part of the way.
You see that up in the window up there a second ago?
Okay, your guy is already
I got lines up there a minute ago.
And I think somebody's up there, person.
No, I haven't seen anything, to be honest.
So if you can't make anything out of it, I'm probably not going to be able to do either. So then you're going to take this green dial up here and turn it counterclockwise. And then turn it back on, turn it back up to the home clock, and it will give you the letters again.
Okay.
And it'll give you a nice clean slate.
Okay.
So yours is working off of EMF just like everybody else's. So we only want the left brake light on.
Okay.
That's working off of EMF. Taps, blocks, so I don't like it. This one we're walking on. That would be that thing.
They got a big spike over here on theirs. Let's go over here. Huh?
No, I'm not talking to
Oh,
you.
sorry. Oh, who were you talking to?
I don't know. That was the question, but now you're here.
Well, he said by the sidewalks it will go up higher
Yeah.
because well, there's an actual person. Where is that person walking?
It's the post. I don't know.
It looked like it was a post.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's a post. Move it away. See, it kind of looks like it's moving.
Yeah.
See, it's moving. That's not a post.
I don't know.
Show it to him. Or maybe it is a post. See,
Yeah.
Julia, look at Julia. Show it to Julia. Look. Okay, but they just. Hold on, one day. Okay.
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, keep it still right there.
I'm
no,
trying.
keep it still.
We got 48 and a Charles. We got a Charles and a 48.
Wait, you think that's a post?
I don't know. I don't even know how this thing really works. How that stick.
Respectful.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's up. Yes.
Okay, steal.
I'm excited for you. The 48 is really good.
I don't see them and hear them, but I feel them around me. And ever since I've gotten on this property, I felt a real presence. So I feel like you can honestly say your name and then remind me.
I don't know. I'll have to ask Nick.
So I welcome them into the space. I don't ask them any questions. I let them get to know my name, remind them to my name, and then
I already did that for you.
yes, I completely understand that, but how I do things is very direct. So I asked him, and I was very respectful. I said, "Sir, can you please tell me what your wife's name is?" Instead, I got a Charles and immediately they went all the way. So that and I also got what I think was a go away. So
So a lot of those, leave now, go away, that kind of stuff. So if I want those things, I will ask for it directly. And normally it'll be like, we ran all the way home, which means go home. Like it's a very subtle piece. I don't take a lot of those kind of bullshit we see on TV as valid pieces.
yeah, that's why I got scared for a second, and I realized that it kind of clicked in my mind. It didn't sound angry.
Yeah, and this is not an angry family. So I'm sure, like, even with the history I just told you, there's nothing malevolent, ever anything about this space. This is a happy family. And I kind of like, even some of the other spaces we're going to, some of it might be a little funny, but this is not one of those spaces. This is not going to be
So Nick,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So leaves will make this thing do things, you said?
The reason why I say that is because all leaves are in front of another leaf.
I gotcha.
That's kind of the mentality I have behind it. And usually branches are in front of something else.
Yeah.
Very easy to spot.
Yeah. So what should make this thing, how is it seeing you?
It is seeing me with the dots that
Okay.
are sprayed out that you saw through the other camera.
Gotcha.
So those dots are closer, so therefore it's always going to try to make it look like a person.
I gotcha.
So I did get a hold of the developer of the app
Yeah.
and kind of talked to them and kind of learned about it myself, so I knew how to explain it.
Yeah.
But have I had interactions with this guy where, just like the girl said earlier, like, can you raise your right hand?
Yeah.
That's usually the only confirmation I'll take. So if
Okay.
I can ask our spirit, whoever we're
Yeah.
trying to talk to,
Gotcha.
can you do this, can you do that, and it's something very specific and they do it, then that's my confirmation. Is this an every night occurrence? No.
Yeah, I got
But
you.
you get my point. We're not going to get anything unless we record.
Yep.
So right now you're picking up on the trees in the far distance, but
Yep.
we also have a telephone pole a little
Yeah.
bit closer, so that's going to be their right arm.
yeah.
Do you see where I'm kind of looking at the depth?
Yeah. Yep.
Another confirmation for me is 3 points for a head. Do me a favor and point that directly at my face for a second and kind of look to see how it shows it. See the 3 points for my nose and eyes?
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
have a singular dot, it's usually something man-made or of nature, something
Yeah.
around us that we can physically see. So I
Gotcha.
normally look for those 3 dots, even if it's on a distant figure that I'm
Yeah.
like, who's that? What is going on?
Yeah.
The 3 dots kind of signify that it sees that contour of our face as well.
Gotcha.
Just also keep in mind too, it'll pick up your shadow. It's not a person laying on the ground.
I
It's an
gotcha.
absence of
Okay.
light.
Okay.
So, Julie, have you heard anything?
I can't make out anything.
Okay.
But I also don't know. I'm not good at listening in general,
Okay.
so I don't know.
Well, let's get you away from that car for a second.
Yeah.
So, remember, it's every little thing that you hear.
Yeah.
Whether it's song,
Yeah.
just recognize the song.
Yeah. 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 I just thought that she was able to sequence me, and I still have no idea. It's just
Get better. This isn't like an easy task.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, this is the best thing out there.
yeah.
This is what training for you for, like, basically
getting bigger readings?
No.
Just heard Nicki Minaj. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, really?
Just the radio chatter.
Yeah, have you gotten anything?
What? Do you saw anything? Yeah,
I haven't gotten any higher readings.
So normally you will get things like to the right of the entryway. So you come in and go to the right, so it would be like over that corner. And that would be
They're getting off all the way up.
Yeah, it does have spooky terms embedded into it. But yeah. It can. Especially, I'm going to assume most of you are all family of some sort. It sure is. Did you hear anything else out of there yet?
I've heard rock.
Okay.
Rock. I've heard investigate.
Okay.
Number 3.
Alright. I think I need to rein everybody in to kind of show what's going on here. So, what do we have out there in the distance? Can't see faces right now.
Oh, that's fishnet girl.
Oh, Mary.
Mary.
All right, let's kind of come over to this wall, everybody. So, Mary, come on.
Julia.
Julia.
I'm not accepting this. Hold on. Where is... I need to... That's amazing.
Yeah. Say something? Yeah. Okay, you said my name, right? Yeah. Okay, making sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get Megan on mute. Let's kind of go through all of the answers here and show you what I'm... Talk to me about what we've heard. What did we see as far as communication devices along the way?
Kill Allie.
Get me out.
Get
and
me out.
Terrified.
Terrified.
It's all a bunch of the TV stuff.
Yeah, very much so.
So I'll write down Allie. So did you get anything on yours, Amy?
Gun.
Gun.
Just
like it.
Oh, hers said Alexa.
I said Alexa. Now it says eggs.
It says what?
Eggs. And Alexa.
Maybe they want Alexa to order eggs. Jeff, anything on yours?
Honestly, I didn't put it on until we entered the alley because of traffic and everything.
I heard a third
Okay.
scream.
So did I.
Yeah.
Alright, just so you know, like all of those screaming and that kind of thing is probably just coming, obviously, from the way it's switching radio stations. I don't write down sound unless it's relevant to our location.
Yeah.
So screams mean nothing to me.
I get that, but 3 screams in a row, subconsciously for me,
Sure.
immediately means turn it off for a minute.
Okay. So, I like Allie, and you had gun spelled out.
Yeah.
Do you guys know where you're at?
No.
I feel like this is a place where a duel happened.
This is
Yes.
Duel's Alley.
What?
Oh, wow.
God.
Nice. Duel's alley.
I felt pain in my ear whenever I entered the alley.
Well, that's the wrong spot.
It is.
Alright, so again, with the cameras, you don't always need to point them directly at me. You can, what we actually prefer is for it to go one way down the alley or another. So if another tour is going to come through here, they're going to come out of that ivy wall and they're going to cut through us. Like we'll split the C's and let them pass through, or they're going to come in the same way that we did. Okay, so I know right now we have the whole alley to ourselves, but we really truly don't. I'll explain in just a moment. But this is Philadelphia Alley now, but it used to be called Dueler's Alley. So every ghost tour comes down here. This is the place I'm actually retiring this year. So this will be the last month that I'll be coming down here. Because starting in November, right after Halloween, my busiest season, obviously, I start investigating a new space for the following year. I get a lot of repeat customers, ghost hunters, so to speak. I don't like calling you guys customers because you're coming to hang out with me. But a lot of repeaters, and they don't always want to see the exact same spaces. I'll be honest, last year I was looking to retire the Pinckney Mansion site just because I was getting disrespectful ghost hunters there. Like, come on, Eliza, and then they go take a leak in the corner kind of mentality.
Nice.
So, yeah,
That's
so I gave the space a few weeks off and was looking into other places, but I keep getting drawn back there. For the 4 years I've been giving the tour, that has been kind of a staple because it is so active all the time. I did decide to keep it, but I will also tell you because Maddie and I actually had a little conversation, like she was trying to introduce herself and those kind of things. I'm like, with that space, every single night before I meet with y'all, I cut through that area, like through the whole space, and I let Eliza know how many people I'm bringing and what your names are if I know them. That's kind of the pact that I made with her. So it's not necessarily me like just sitting down and reading them off. Like that's why your names are all on my notebook. So I just read them off. Eliza, I'm bringing 12 people. Jason is bringing his wife and daughter. I don't know what their names are, but here's the other names that I do know. You know, and it is just a respect piece. So again, let's talk about the alley because that's why we're here.
I just heard what's going on and why.
Too vague.
Yeah.
Too vague for me. Dueler's Alley. Again, every ghost tour comes down here. I'm going to tell you the same story that they tell, but I'm going to give you more details because you're ghost hunting. So it's not going to be a campfire marshmallow type of ghost story, right? So let's get into it. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you listening on a spirit box, hopefully Jeff is at this point, and you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name, and we get it here all the time. So take that for what it is. Dr. Ladd moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda, yeah, you guys can sit down, it's story time. See how people are just like, oh, where can I sit? He tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. So Dr. Ladd moves to Charlestown to prove that he's not just after Amanda's money. And the coachman that brought Dr. Ladd into Charleston is basically setting him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay in Charleston. So somebody was walking by. He was somewhat of a local because he'd already lived here for a few years, and he knows the coachman is going to try to kill this newcomer. His name is Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop on Ralph for just a second. Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. We were getting the letters RI all the time on regular spirit boxes, so that's why I bought the device that Amy's using. I wanted to clarify that they were the specific letters of RI. I've had Amy's device for probably 7, 8, 9 months at this point, and we've had it about half a dozen times whenever I brought up Ralph's name. You will be looking for the letters RI in that order, no anagram of initials. So back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can stay with them. They'll rent you a room, and you'll be safe. The doc took him up on the offer, and the two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. So Amanda gets wind of this, that he's making his own cash flow, and she's moving down, so that way they can get married. Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. Now, Every haunted city you're ever going to visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. I'm just going to point that out right now. Ours just happens to be a doctor. So I don't like cliches and tropes, which is another reason why I'm getting rid of this space for this year. Now, back to Dr. Ladd and Ralph. They go see plays together. They cannot sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. So, on the way home after seeing Richard III, they're arguing over a new actress that they just saw. And Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph didn't. It turned into an argument, and then Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It gets pretty ugly, and they go their separate ways. But I told you Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper and puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of thing.
It was him.
Doctor saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. Somebody's going to die. So, yeah, all this started over an actress, by the way. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up to the fight. But Ralph has his
I
one
searched
bullet.
shame.
We've actually had that word quite a bit here. Ralph points his gun at the doctor, but shoots him in the kneecap. The doctor doesn't die. He fell to the ground where his friends picked him up and took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later, November 2nd, 1786. Now, we are very close to the dueling date. I want to say we are 2 days away from the actual alleged anniversary of that actual duel. So, the fact that you have shame, and I think I've heard that here in this location for at least 3 or 4 nights now. I'm just going to point that out. So that has actually just been a common theme here. I don't know why. Because Ralph was actually pretty proud of his little moment.
I've got shameful.
Do you have shameful as well?
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Is it though? Isn't this why you showed up?
Yeah, that's
Exactly. So, every ghost tour that comes down here tells you all to listen for the whistles. This is why I had you guys start all of the video cameras, because I wanted to make sure, we're not going to stay here. We're not going to stand around and listen in the silence. We have 3 video cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to get a whistle, it'll show up on one of those 3 cameras, or it'll show up on a recording of a spirit box through the whistling of a song, and then the word doctor will come up immediately after. Yes.
I got a whistle earlier.
Where at?
Whenever you were like telling us about like the gun.
In this space?
Yeah.
Okay. So we do have a possible whistle. So with those, I do like to verify those, just so you know, because that is a
I
very
haven't heard a
specific.
doctor yet.
It normally would come up afterwards, so it'll be in part of a song. Think of Guns N' Roses' "Patience" or moves like Jagger. You hear the little whistling part of the song, and then the word "doctor" shows up from a commercial. So I don't take that as coincidence because I don't believe in coincidences. So if you're going to try this on your own, by the way, and you're going to walk all the way through this alley without me, when we're not touring, obviously not tonight, turn on the voice recorders from your phones. See if you can get the whistles in the background. But just keep in mind, every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley. I do it every morning. So my office is over here, my garage is over there, which means I have to pass by the alley every single morning. So I always throw a whistle. Sometimes I get a whistle back, sometimes I don't. So take that for what it is. That's a personal experience for me. And I always throw a whistle since I got kicked out of here. Let's talk about that, because that's actually the fun part of the story. Mary, you want to hear this part? So, we did surgery down there quite a few times. The alley didn't always go all the way through that way, the way we came in. There was a wall up there, so right about where those steps are. The reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. This used to be called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. So cows and chickens were down here, basically. So what does that mean for you guys? That means that the bricks on the other side of the alleyway are older than the ones you're standing on.
Oh,
So
just a few signs. Oh, that's just a few signs of me.
So, she's making me lose track. Those
I'm
bricks
sorry.
down there are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint down there with fingerprint swipes and others. And I used to take my groups all the way through to go down that way to go to another spot. And again, I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. Like, it was just a matter of history, no mattering the diversity of the group, because we all need to see how far we've come from slavery. That was the whole point of me showing it to anybody. However, November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10 is huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen with all the gear that I hand out. I'm trying to shoo them along, not just because nothing's going to happen, but it's also outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful. I didn't realize that I was out of bounds for tours. The new owner of that mansion came out, and he was screaming. My daughter thought it was great because her father's getting yelled at while at work. Yeah, so she thought it was hysterical. So we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I worked in retail management, like I said, managing hundreds of people. So I don't do Thanksgiving anymore because it was for Walmart. And it was basically because you guys like to fight over towels on Black Friday. So yeah, you guys can all laugh about it now, so can I. But I don't work on Thanksgiving. So the next day was the 28th of November. And I called my partner that I had at the time that brought me into tourism. And I told him what happened. He laughed at me too, just like my daughter did. And he's like, dude, you're allowed to go down halfway. That's the cutoff point for tours. Otherwise, you got to reroute the group. So I decided that night I'm going to have to reroute the group, but I told them I don't believe in the next story. I've never had anything happen there, and I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. We're obviously going to be discussing pirates
there was
next.
2 Americans lost in like different songs.
It's songs?
Yeah. Or they were speaking, but it was different like radio channels, and then
Okay.
one of the words was a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we left this space, you know, they already know that we're going to be discussing pirates, but somebody heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, well, okay, maybe we're going to get something.
She's cool.
Now, we get around the corner, and I told them the little bit I did know about piracy. Somebody else heard the number 300. I don't know what that one means. I write it down. I do the research for them the next day. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you guys kind of get the oh wows all the time. I was actually pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing. So all of my degrees are in writing. Even when I'm doing this, especially when I'm doing this, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that were written 100 years after their alleged events of them occurring. So trying to make sure like what we're going to be discussing at the next location took dozens of books reading. Not that I'm not like into reading. I'm not into pirates that much. At least I wasn't. But now I'm watching documentaries. I'm playing video games on pirates. Like I'm doing all kinds of crazy stuff about pirates. It's a fun story over there, but it is a 50-50 roll of the dice if we're going to have something from Anne Bonny over there. Just because she is said to be seen all over town, which is why we kind of also get the bleed over from this location. So that's the hope is when we get over there. So Megan, you'll be able to unmute once we get rolling again. Hopefully Jeff will listen in along the way. But this alleyway is very unique, but I will be taking it out of the route. Don, you okay? I want to make sure you're okay.
No. I was trying to look at something and it fell.
Okay. I mean, I could fix it. I just want to make sure you're all right.
No,
Like you didn't have like a...
Yeah.
no light.
I got Steven
It'll pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just gotta give it a second.
no!
Well, luckily I dropped it on this side.
Yeah, you're okay though. Everything's insured. It's just hard to get it overnighted.
Yeah, you tell me.
So the gate before we leave.
No,
So there's-
Google's picking up words.
Google's picking up words.
Yeah, you ever done it with Google? Google will do it too. It'll hear things that you don't hear.
Oh yeah.
If you bring your-
I got Googles all over my home, and it all of a sudden will start spouting stuff
And
off.
nobody's saying anything.
Right. The gate before we leave the space. Remember I told you that the alley didn't go all the way through that way? So in the event there was a loser to the duel down here, this was the shortcut to get over to the cemetery behind me on the other side of the wall. Otherwise, they'd actually have to go all the way down to Queen Street and then double back. So this kind of shows you how I do my research and the timelines to make sure like what we're doing is lined up. So when we do hear things like surgery and shame, and it's coming up on another one to verify as well, that's where I get excited. We did get the word gun spelled out for us on the Ouija board device. Like that thing doesn't always spell out words, guys. Like just, I'm gonna point that out. I'll go sometimes weeks where that thing doesn't give me anything. So it gave me the word gun on our way in here. So that's pretty exciting stuff. So I'm excited about that. Yes.
She got see me. I felt someone behind me, like right in front, like leaning up against where the wall used to be, and then her thing said behind.
So I also look at that as almost like a back-to-back, and they were behind each other before they took their 10 paces.
Okay.
So it just depends on what else pops up around that. So they're all very vague, and we can all make a story out of some of those vague phrases, but like the see me thing, like that can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
So again, I like those details. I like names, I like numbers, I like facts and data. So the see me stuff and the behind you and that kind of stuff, like that even...
I got surgery.
The surgery's good.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about a doctor.
You got surgery too. Okay, good. I'm
But
not
at the same
crazy.
time, like the shame and shameful, like that's verification.
And then we
Yeah.
both got surgery.
Yep.
What do you, okay, you using a device
Nothing
that
from Missy?
connects with Ouija.
Right.
What is your take on Ouija? Because the folklore is that it opens a gateway to.
I know what the folklore is, but I do use them on a regular
No, I
basis.
mean, what do you?
Righteousness.
What do you? How do you analyze the data coming out of that?
So,
And
let's
do you trust it?
I was waiting to
I
see
showed
what that
up.
gentleman went off to. So with what we have going on here, if I'm going to be using a spirit board at home or in a normal investigation
Yeah.
session, I will have usually a word generator running, and then a device like Maddie's to actually just record off to the side and not listening to it. So will I use it and get answers? I will get answers, but they don't always come through in a factor
I
of
know
like they're going to be spelled out for me right there. It might show up on Teresa's device, so forth and so on. So I think everything kind of works in conjunction with each other. I don't always use just one device. So whether that device is electronics or not, because I do use pendulums, obviously I have crystals and things like that, but I do other things. I mean, they mentioned dowsing rods as well, so I also use those,
Lana
but
Del
in
Rey
conjunction
was
with
just like,
something
that was
else.
awesome.
Well,
I believe them.
here's the thing. Around the older generation that have
On your way,
had
baby.
mishaps with Ouija.
Yeah.
His wife was on his way.
And they would tell the kids, don't mess with that.
Yeah, that's
You'll
still
have a
today.
demon following around you.
That's nothing
The whole-
different than
your
what's
whole
going
life.
on in houses today.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I mean, it still goes on.
I just got the word whistle.
The way I see it, it's not the board.
It's definitely not the board.
That's just a,
Before you
Alright,
discuss.
let's let these folks pass through. They're gonna be
that's
walking.
just a tool.
Julia,
To open up your own,
let these people walk.
Oh, sorry.
awareness
Yeah.
of what's going on.
So that's big one. And the reason why I even
But
use
what I was asking you is that
Yeah.
does it help out with
Yeah.
deciphering what's going on?
Yeah.
it does. It just I don't bring it out here because it's not going to give me raw data, and it's
No,
only
I'm
pertinent to
talking
the user.
about what, the device you're using that has part of Ouija in it.
It doesn't. I just call it that to get a rise out of people. It's
okay.
only using the alphabet like what a Ouija board has. It's not using any
Oh,
Ouija board.
no, that has no.
Okay.
It's using EMF.
Use it.
Yeah.
That's what it's using.
Oh, okay.
So it's anytime there's an EMF
I
spike.
got a little confused.
I got you and now in the picture.
Because it has the alphabet on it, just like a Ouija, and it gets a rise out of it. So when people step back and they're like, "I'm not using that," it's usually the person I hand it to.
Well, you'll notice that the background
Okay, well, he's gonna.
I don't believe that. I think it's more, you could use
It's all
you can use
mindset.
sand and write letters in the sand. If you're
I've done pen and paper before.
Yeah, it's the connection that you make.
I've used pen and paper with a pendulum to get answers. Like that simplistic of a.
Automatic writing.
Well, no, that's totally different. Like you and I are gonna have to have a 4-day coffee date because we've touched about 12 different topics. That,
Well, when I go to sleep, I watch nothing but documentaries. I mean, everything you don't have time to watch.
it's my job to watch it. Yeah. Jason, we're gonna get rolling. We're actually going this way.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna go out. I was trying to bring Letty back in, but then she's working with something different and she's trying to learn something.
My arm was getting tired.
What happened?
Nothing.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. My cousin also peed. Okay.
I should be following you, Amy. I got the EMF light thingy.
I'm hearing running water.
Not hearing anything. So nobody else must be here, or else they probably would have told me.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I'm getting a story in my head. I don't know if I'm making it up or somebody's telling me.
Okay. What's the story?
These kids, what happened to them, what the first generation of kids that were helping out these pirates, they'd come into port, they would help aid replenishing the food, gunpowder, they would clean the ship, just in order to make money because they were all orphans. These were the kids that were left out with no
Okay. I
parents.
can see that. I can't prove it, but I can see that.
No, but that's what I'm getting the feeling of. These, as you got older,
why everything I just told you came out of a minimum of 2 years. Oh, absolutely. I mean, she was fighting aggression all the time. Oh, yeah. Because she was that kind of person. Yeah. But he did say one thing that kind of stood out to me, though, was with the word gunpowder. They are near the gunpowder magazine. Like, that's what that is. So, I mean, it's a museum now, but it held gunpowder for 7 different wars.
You found your weapon.
Yeah, it was very close.
I just got found your weapon.
It was always about like where her ranking is. Always. And that's her life story.
Read a book about this, and this is the feelings I'm getting about this lately.
This location can be daunting because there is so many different things that can occur as we near the powder magazine. Because again, it's served in different wars. There are other ghost haunted tales of things that I've been able to prove. We have a whole amp on it that could have been here. We have a vice president buried on the other side of this wall. I mean, there's so much that goes on over here. When people pick up on things, it's a matter of like, can I prove it? Is it like this tale that you have about the kids looking up to her and she's around the hood? I can't prove any of it.
A historic. Oh my god, that actually changed. It's fine. I just got a really prominent girl listening. It's fine. Oh my god, bird! It's fine, bird! Tell him, tell him. Nick, Nick.
So go to the radio station. So we have someone's loud, okay?
So we moved several places every time we asked, and only when we asked did we get those things. So we're waiting for it to show up on EMF. We don't use the motion sensors anymore because they're not always productive out here.
Sometimes it says
Again, we're
things.
walking around kind of thing. But yeah, if she heard red, that is definitely.
No, I heard Brent, but she didn't hear it.
That's radio wave. You gotta go somewhere.
But this honestly has a
Yeah, don't walk around with it.
like it has this weird, like it
I
flickers.
wanted to pick up the radio.
Oh, well, then get around me.
Take bird.
And
I want more to it.
I got, what did I say right before that? I got, it was me. It was me first. She wants my brain chose me first.
I don't want to take out cracks.
Point at that wall.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing it.
Someone is, like a lady is standing at the wall.
Yeah, I've been checking out the wall, the building.
Yeah, you feel someone over there, don't you? Because there's a girl over there. She's like about your height. She has like brownish. Was her hair brown?
No, it's red.
Okay. Because I just saw a woman. I just saw a woman with brownish orange hair. I just saw
Oh,
like,
you getting close to that moment?
I just saw,
You can try it, but more than likely it's gonna be
Why you're in my ears.
about standing up against the wall with brownish orange hair. Like ginger, like my mom's color of ginger. Where's my mother? Like my mother's color of ginger, just standing up against the wall.
She was definitely like red.
Okay.
So that's what I'm looking for out of that. So you got a chance to listen to Julia's device. Did you hear anything in there?
I just got
I did
the
not.
third
It's
mother
not easy
of
to
the
do, is
night.
it? It's very hard. Jason, did you get a chance?
Not yet.
So it's
Yeah.
very difficult to do.
I heard the music like in between.
Oh, you're
like
talking about
how
the spirit
to
box?
switch in,
Yeah.
like the stations.
And that's
I
what you
just
want.
got like the
So the way I train these
mother of
folks,
the
like,
night,
because
she just got
I do run a boot camp where
wrong.
we actually take the spirit boxes and escalate it with every new location. So it gets going faster and faster and faster. But they have to get used to this before they know what to listen for at the end when they're not getting all that radio chatter. So if something does come through, it's more likely not radio chatter. So I do run a boot camp for paranormal teams to like learn how to, because this is my expertise right here.
Young
This-
boy.
So, like I said, when they're giving me all these, phrases like this, most of them are really vague. I'm not going to write them down.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad that they're hearing things at this point and having fun with it. But until they give me like the names of her parents, that's when I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, the names were this. That's
That's
where I
great.
get excited.
Yeah.
That's why I keep like, all right, guys, tone it down. Let me get through this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they're hearing a lot of very vague things. So, and again, if I can't prove it, I'm not going to write it down.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this rolls. So whose idea was this overall between the three of you?
So we've done the regular ghost tours the last couple of years. We've been coming down for like 3 years for her birthday. So, and we want to do something different this year.
I've been begging them to
Happy
do
birthday,
stuff like this
Yeah, thank
for
you.
ever.
And we're sort of into this stuff. We watch all the stuff on TV.
Sure.
She's very, she's from Mexico. She's very superstitious. So she's very, kind
Part of the
of,
culture. Yeah,
so
I get it.
So
Yeah, it's like I believe in it, but like
You want the proof.
well, I kind of want to be respectful. I don't want to take anything with me.
And you won't. You won't. So there's enough
Yeah.
satchels around my bag that
Yeah.
keeps everything grounded. So I'm good in that respect.
Okay.
So normally what would happen, just so you know, when I first started doing this with strangers, is you guys would show up with your own ghosts and they're
Yeah.
going home with me because I have all the communication. So that's not good with my seizures. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a bad mix. So that's why there's so many satchels. Like I have several satchels in and around my bag. Like I'm sure you've seen a couple things dangling. Like they're
Yeah.
there to keep things nice and level for us. So you're not going to go home with anything. I don't take us anywhere malevolent.
Yeah.
So in the event that I actually have just a gut that I'm like, yeah, this probably isn't a good idea, we're out of there.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't happen very often. Not with the spaces I take us. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watch a lot of the. Do you ever see that paranormal catch and camera?
Oh
Caught
yeah,
on
yeah.
camera.
On camera?
Yeah.
I sent them a few videos.
yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't
I
used
like
them.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to watch
Yeah.
that because that's actually the real. You can actually.
Yeah, because it's
see.
candid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not looking for it.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
happens. That's
Yeah.
the fun part about that
Yeah.
one.
Like
Yeah.
our favorite show was Skinwalker Ranch.
Same here.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
And I love Skinwalker Ranch because they're looking for extraterrestrial activity using the same equipment you guys are using right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it so much. And especially, I can't remember, what's his name, Travis?
Yeah.
I love Travis.
Yeah.
The show's just sucked. It's just sucked us in. It's weird.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
we
easy
watched
to do it now.
Yeah.
We watched since the first season. We've been watching it.
Yeah.
I'm actually the one who find it. And
Oh,
he
you're
was
still on the
mad.
first season?
No,
No.
we since the first season. She
Oh,
said. So yeah,
And
we
he
watched
actually
them
got
all.
mad. I didn't thought he'll like it, and then he got mad at me because I watched it with.
Yeah, I could see that. My wife stopped watching all that stuff with me. Now I get stuck watching doctor shows because she's going to be a vet soon. So gotta come home and she wants Grey's Anatomy on.
She went to go find a restroom.
Okay.
All right, I went over here. And I asked, what about the children? Why are the children so important? And what about the group? And then I got some of her.
Like that building feels kind of a little creepy to me. Like when I got close to it.
Yeah.
They were brought over.
Yeah, but is that the original building, and then that was an addition up front, or what?
Possible. And again, you're in Charleston.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is the
It looks pretty open.
And then
The brick.
they're the main.
But I was noticing where he said that those are not crosses. And then once you go there, you can actually see that they're not.
Because they were
But from far, they do look like crosses.
doing all these little odd jobs.
I mean, that's the way these cities were probably built anyway. It was from those little kids doing all the little jobs.
Yeah. Doing everything for the people trying to run things.
See if Joy can do.
Cheap labor.
Have you heard anything?
Or,
Getting fed.
yeah, pretty much.
If they were left.
If they could. Justin, is Megan hearing anything else on there?
I have a question. Is the name of the boat Spanish church?
No.
Damn it. Never mind. No. Didn't hear anything.
What do you think she heard?
Oh.
Oh,
I heard Spanish music.
I'm not surprised. We get Cuban music here all the time.
And there you go. I don't know. I can't really make out anything.
Any letters or words being spelled out? It is hard. It's not an easy job.
It's not, it's very, very hard to pick out.
But I know I heard right.
Just,
We got 20.6.
well, being so close to me, there's
American woman.
Again, another.
Does it mess with you? Well, the magnetite.
20.6.
Where did you get the 20.6?
Right there at the tree. Like right over there on that white line as we pointed over to spot 11. So I haven't gotten any readings at all around any of this area.
We get a lot of zeros in here. A
And
lot.
then as soon as I went to 11, like started walking to 11, started finding higher. Over there at spot 11. The guys
It's not going to give you 20.
There's a
Probably give you 25, 29.
Did y'all? Or is this I think it's a normal demonic spell. Like I'm hanging out here because there's so much back. But like it's a back over here. But I heard demonic scream and also demonic scream and demonic scream.
Yeah.
That's why it's
Yeah, I know we said, but not to get close. You should
Well,
use
yeah,
the
'cause
should
it
use the camera. See,
I've been using it.
that's
Man, all I see is people.
he said stay away from the wall. Stay away from the ivy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like the open space where there's no people.
Yeah.
Okay, she said, look at that way.
Which way?
Like away from the cars, but like in the parking.
No, okay, that's direct. Okay, you know what? I'm not messing with that.
In here, I actually get excited about 2.5.
I just got behind me 4 times, so I'm gonna be going this way.
I got forward. Got forward. So we got 4 steps forward.
I just got behind me 4 times.
Oh God. I am not turning around now. But and then we got answer, scream, answer, scream. I turned it off, and it did ask her, "Are you confused?" And it said I didn't want to. So I think it's child. And there was save me, holy music.
Oh, there is a bathroom in there.
There was church at one point.
I'm sorry.
I kept getting a lot of gospel music and stuff.
Yeah.
What's funny is one of the songs they commonly get here.
Really?
Not so for her about that, are you? Don't look at that.
Maddie's going to be able to put her phone headset on, but Mary will not be able to because she's going to be blindfolded already. So a couple of things between the two blindfolded non-hearing people. So when we are done, when we're only going to stay under for 10 minutes. So when we're done, your moms are going to tap you on the leg. That means we're done. You take off your own gear. Okay? I'm never going to touch you, just so you know. If you're speaking too loud, because we do have neighbors, okay, you're not going to be able to hear how loud you are. Mom will tap you on the shoulder. Okay? So that means quiet down a little bit. If we can't hear you, they may lift up your earmuff and just say louder. We're going to keep it nice and simple. Okay? So those are your 3 cues. Leg done, shoulder, quiet down, earmuff, speak up a little bit. You're going to be telling me everything you're hearing, including yes/no questions. So again, I am not going to accept anything that comes from a TV show or horror movie of get out kind of mentality. So I'm looking for conversational pieces. So literally tell me everything, including yes/no. I might ask our ghost if I'm wearing a black vest. I'm expecting one of you to say yes. Okay, so this is where you don't know the questions. That's kind of how this works. When you guys go under, leave your spirit boxes alone. I want to make sure you're not messing with the volume pieces to make sure you guys aren't cheating. People in the past, I'll ask silly questions like what color is a blue monkey, and we'll see if we get somebody that says blue monkey. You guys are getting my point. We've caught them in the past. So do not touch your spirit box. We want to make sure that like we're having a legitimate session. So you will do, let me see your blindfolds real quick. Kind of quick this for you. And then open up like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
You're gonna be listening to yours too.
When you get your images, you're going to see maybe 1 to 10 images. I never know how many are going to pop up. So we've had a max of 10, and last night we only had 1. We've only had 2 nights where none showed up at all. So we're going to see how this actually goes. You guys will all see the AI imagery before we leave this space, and it will be in your data set tomorrow morning. Have you guys ever seen AI generate an image before?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do a very, very quick, oh, sorry, wrong person. I'll do a very, very quick demo, and then I'll slide my phone inside of Letty's device. So I'm going to I use Bing every day to create a social media post for me with original artwork. This is how I do it. So I just tell it exactly what I want it to do, and you're going to see how it actually generates and how I actually choose
You
my...
said Bing, right?
Yeah, like the search engine.
Okay.
Not yet. Create a comic book style image of an obelisk with 12 people standing around it at night with a full moon in the background holding electronic devices. See how specific I got? I put numbers in there, time of day, artwork, like what style of image that I wanted. And then it'll pop up and say, I'll try to create that, depending on how strong of a signal I can get over here. And then it'll give me 4 options to choose from. Once I slap my logo on it, I now own that picture. I actually, just for shits and giggles, I made a picture this morning. It was a cartoon image of Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and a turkey going trick-or-treating. The whole point was I want people to book their ghost hunting tours early because, again, I'm open year-round.
Yeah.
That was my whole point. So you can see I could be very clever because I'm a writer. That's what I do, right, Teresa? I got it. All right, so it gave me 4 images. We'll see how accurate it is. So it should be 12 people standing around an obelisk with a full moon in the background. And go ahead and take that blindfold off. Thank you. So, 4 images. So I use it all the time. I want to do that soon. And I wanted it in a comic book style image.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I want you,
There's a
just the
bunch
way
of
I
videos on
talk into my
YouTube.
phone,
Yeah.
I want you guys to think of what Letty's going to go through as if the ghost is translating the EMF around us and whispering into the phone to make an image so she can see it. Does that make sense? Yeah, so hopefully what she sees is going to correlate with what these two say.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to, have you ever used AI before? Or virtual reality before? Okay, so basically you're going to see like a rolling gray smoke, and you're going to tell us everything that's not gray smoke. So it's going to be 2D images, it's not going to be like 3D in your face kind of stuff. So it's just going to kind of float out in the middle of cyberspace, and you're just going to tell us what you see. Your focus for this, in case things get blurry, there's a dial right there. You can just turn it any way you need to so you can see it better. So once I get
Do
this...
I have to be looking at them?
Nope. You're going to be looking, you're going to see, it's a whole world in there. So once I get this guy set up, you can look anywhere you want to. All right, ladies, so blindfolds first, then noise-canceling headphones. I'm sorry, then earbuds. You guys are all mixed up. Maddie's got her own setup going on. Earbuds for you next, Mary. Feeling relaxed, got it. And then, yes, Mom, you're going to have to help with those noise-canceling headphones to put them over top of your head. And then everybody remember, we're going to circle it nice and tight. See, you're going to see that, but in like one line of sight. You'll see here. So slide that over.
See what it is?
Amy, you should know how.
Let me see.
Need help? There's still some. Okay, it is 11:30 on the dot, so I'm going to start the session now. So give us some volume, Maggie. Can you hear me? Maddie, can you hear me? Okay, so... Maddie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm not getting anything. What'd you say?
Use your spirit
I mean, I
box.
want to hear them asking the questions, to be honest. It's pretty loud.
I'm going to need you to try to push through. I've got 3 young ladies sitting here tonight. 2 of them can hear what you want us to hear, and 1 can see the visuals. I'm going to start off with something simple, like your occupation, like I always do. And I understand that October is a very awkward month for you. It's very sad. Just so everybody knows, his son and himself died in the month of October. So it's been very quiet the past few weeks. We're going to see what happens, which is why I wanted to do 2 double blinds. Henry, tell us something about your occupation. If they don't start talking, You guys are going to lift up their earmuff and remind them to talk. Henry, can you show us something that you had to use for your occupation, please? Any of the tools that you had to use, I will take as an exception that you are here. Yeah, let's lift up their earmuffs, remind them to talk to us.
Huh? Tell us if you hear something, okay? What?
Tell us what you're hearing.
Tell us what you're hearing.
I'm not really hearing anything yet.
Okay. Hey. Are you hearing anything? Are you hearing anything? Not really. Okay, remember to talk if you hear anything, okay?
Tell us what you're hearing.
Oh, I heard disappear once,
You
but it
gotta
was in a song.
Do it in real time.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's a conversation. Okay, Henry, now that we got that straightened out. It's a learning curve, buddy. Henry, can you give us something about your occupation, please? Any words, phrases? I'll take the images of any of your tools. We just want verification that you're here. If you're not Henry Timrod and you would like to say something to us, we need to know who you are so I know how to ask you the right questions.
If they gone my life
Henry?
forever.
Are you here by yourself? Henry, are you the only one here tonight?
Listen.
We're trying to. Henry, who else is here with you? We would like a name. I know it's a very busy Saturday night and a lot of people have been tramping through here. Letty, any images yet?
Mm-hmm.
Just smoke.
Yeah. Somebody's smoking too.
Like a good Cuban cigar in there, right? Henry, any communication from you about your occupation, or if you want to direct us into who you want us to ask about, I'll take that as well. You guys get weird words or something that pops up?
Powder. Average.
It does say Rachel. Henry Timrod, I need you to push through. Give us some verification. Tell us something about your occupation, please.
Mine.
Henry, be specific, please. Something about your occupation. Most of us know what it is. That would tell us, all of us, that you're here.
America.
She's tapping a little loud. Can we get her a tap on the shoulder? No, you don't need to tell her. She should know the signal. A little quieter.
Huh? A little quiet. Okay.
We have neighbors like behind us. We're in a neighborhood. You can imagine that phone call to the police. There's a guy blindfolding people on a bench.
Everyone.
There we go. Henry, I would really appreciate an image to come through the green box tonight.
Difference.
Mary hasn't heard anything. Henry, let's just dive right in. Can you tell us the date of when your son passed away? That's coming up here in just a few days, isn't it? Can we get a number? Can you tell us the date when your son passed away? Watch how you find that, Jason. Those people
Oh, yeah.
Forgotten sound.
Did that not sound like a gunshot over there? Like a battlefield gunshot in the 1860s?
Mm-hmm.
From the tropics.
Come on, Mary, give us something. Poor Letty's just looking at cigar smoke in there.
Yeah.
Inform. That's a bunch of vague stuff. Henry,
I can.
love for you to be able to talk back to us right now. I understand if this is a hard month, but we're trying to learn more about you and what's going on the other side over there.
Earthquake.
You would have been dead before I was there.
First place.
Let's talk about the war that you served in if you want to go that route. She's shaking pretty hard. Is that normal for her?
Yes.
Okay. This is why I don't write anything down, so I can keep an eye on breathing
Yeah.
and all of that.
No, can you? Use the way.
I think Mary fell asleep.
Dead. Family.
Henry, let's talk about the war. Can you tell us what war you served in? The specific war? Henry, I know it's a very long Saturday night, but we would appreciate any time. You can even tell us to go home.
Nobody.
You could tell us to go home at this point, and that would at least prove to me that you're here. Henry, an image would be fantastic. Anything. Fantastic.
Got to yellow.
Did you?
Yep.
Thanks, Henry. Can you give us the date of your son's death? I won't poke the bear with this one, Henry, but we're trying to learn more about you. That was October 23rd. So everybody knows what that means. Poor man. Feel bad. Got nothing. I mean, honestly, it's a true testament of like what this month is for him.
The average.
The average. I mean, it's been like this almost every night.
Really?
He died on October 6th. His son died October 23rd.
Passion.
So just like I mentioned, the old jail, where it's a theme of names, I also have to look at the theme of silence.
Yeah.
Or non-visuals. Finally! But she also got mine. Was it mine or yours? Which one is it, Henry? You need to come through a little bit more clear than that. Everything's really confusing right now. Do you want us to leave? That's a yes-no question.
Every little thing.
She had a lot of phrases with the word every in it. Henry, do you want us to go home? We'll leave if you tell us. I would love an image. You could put a middle finger in there right now and I would take it as an image. In the air. Henry, we're down to 1 minute. See how fast this goes by? Yeah, it's 10 minutes.
Oh wow. That's good.
It goes super quick. For them, it feels like 2 to 3 minutes. All right, Henry, I'm going to wrap this up. Can you tell us goodnight? Going once. Going twice. All right, moms, let's tap them out. Letty, go ahead and peel that thing off your face. Did you at least smell a cigar in there? No?
I smell like cigarettes. Is somebody smoking?
I felt like everything I got was from like. It was like everything.
I just
It was
felt
like everything I got
it
did
just
not
like
make
the
sense.
clouds.
Okay. So,
I got yours.
I will tell you, and this is why I always usually have the person going under, is the person that's been listening to it for the past 2.5 hours. Because at this point, you're like, I'm only hearing the radio. That's what we want you to tell us. It's okay. So, again, I was like, did she fall asleep? Is she okay? You know, those kind of things.
I was just listening like really lightheaded.
That was my next question. Did both of you two feel okay?
I felt whenever we first arrived here, I have
meant now.
headband.
I meant after the whole session.
But after the session, no. Like halfway through the session, everything just kind of mellowed
I
out.
was feeling lightheaded.
It was
Well, don't get up. I don't need baby giraffes falling on your house.
like it was as though like everything just kind of like I only
was
heard the
nice to
words that made sense. I didn't even hear the static.
Okay.
Did y'all ask me anything else?
There was
So-
one that stuck out to me. It was someone screaming like a was it everybody, everything, something
You
like
said
that.
a lot of like every something. You had that phrase in there.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
there was like one of the last ones I said was just like a very loud woman screaming every something.
Okay. So with this particular session that just occurred, I'm going to count this as obviously very unsuccessful. Like we didn't have any answers whatsoever that were relevant. We got absolutely no images. What do you think I'm supposed to do?
Because right in the middle of what you were doing, it had me look down and I found this on the ground. And I think you're supposed to ask about 2 keys.
Does this belong to anybody? This looks like
That
it
was
belongs.
right inside the bricks. Right there, right behind you. I couldn't read it.
I'll take my ears back.
You have to take a magnifying glass to read it.
It's not American. It's not English on here.
Yeah.
Well, I heard
It almost
Ohio
looks
in there
Arabic.
somewhere. I
No,
didn't
but
think it
think
was.
you
I heard,
should
I
ask
know,
about
but I
2
really
keys,
thought that
not
was just
to
a
get in trouble.
No, that's something. I heard Ohio there at the beginning. I didn't think it was anything. I'm sitting in your seat. Like,
Relevant to what you were talking about, but you weren't quite asking the right questions.
So I kind of always try to start off with something very basic and simple to kind of get verification of the view. And then I'll repeat that question over and over again and then try to lead it into something else. Which is how I've
This
normally
was like
gotten-
halfway into it, after you got past that.
I am going to probably take a picture of this when I get to the office so you guys can actually see what
It
we're
was
writing.
right here. Because I was taking pictures, I kept, and then going slow.
yeah.
And something made me look down right when you were trying to get, you know, you gave me a dilemma that you only, we had 60 seconds left to go.
Right after
Wow.
you did that,
Okay.
so that's only a 3 holes.
I'm definitely going to be drawing a
Right
picture
here,
of this.
right
in there.
inside you.
I mean, lost.
It may not be relevant,
I
but
have no
you
idea,
might,
but you were meant to find it for some reason. So
you might get
I just
something out
wanted
of
to try it.
it. If not, then
Good, I'm glad you did.
Should I turn this on?
Yeah, so here's how this is going to go down. So we are all wrapped up. We did get a little bit of a blip on our EMF reading, right, Joseph? Yeah. So we got a small, like, little 10 to 12, EMF reading that came out of this. So we have gotten up to triple digits, but sometimes when we don't have a lot going on here, I was surprised to hear you say you had something. I'll be honest. So I will be writing that piece down. Your data that you're going to get back here when I get back to the office. So let me kind of take this side a little bit so I
right
can see
after
everybody.
Anything I say makes sense.
No, nothing at all. That's exactly why I'm saying it's
right
irrelevant.
after I found, right when I found it, he turned around.
Is that about the same time?
Right at the same time. And then you were giving him the time limit. Hey, we're gonna let you go.
Yeah.
And so, and it was, if things were getting a little tense on that side, you weren't asking the right questions.
I may not have been speaking to the right spirit either. So here's the thing about what we just did. The reason why I asked at the very beginning is if somebody else was here. We've had Dr. Ladd slip in here from the dueling story. The house he lived in, 59 Church Street, it's 0.3 miles in that direction. We have seen him slip through, and I normally take that bench over there, but somebody else had it taken
He may have
when
been
we
in
got
this
over here.
location several times.
Did
Well-
you have a name Rachel come across? The name Rachel.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've also gotten things relevant to that monument over there. That is Marguerite Volk. I actually almost have like a very eerie portrait of this young lady. I'm going to be taking everything one by one, just because it goes into the bag a certain way. So again, I've gotten multiple spirits through this whole session. Tonight, it was just completely a dead night. And Dawn might be right. I may have just been asking the wrong question to the wrong person. So kind of take all of that for what it's worth.
I can take this right now.
Nope. You gotta wait till tomorrow when you get your audio back.
Like what you all.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about too. Now, most of you have a device that has a giant QR code on it. Some of you may be wondering what that is. That is my business card. If you, it's not on yours. It's giant. You wouldn't be able to miss it. Yeah, exactly. So I don't do paper business cards. So if you guys want my contact info, website, social media crap, all the TikTok, Facebook stuff that I do, that's how you get it. Tap your phone if you're Android, scan it if you're Apple. tap it. Put your phone, like the middle of your phone over top of it. No, the middle of the back of your phone. There you
Now
go.
that I think about it, there was a couple of schools where I was getting I was getting like was not here.
This was a lively group.
I kind of just ignored. I kind of just ignored like the songs.
Very lively group.
Yeah.
So you guys have to imagine, like, I'm the weirdo in town. So, like, I know I attract all the weirdos. So I normally tell you guys at the beginning of the night, like, if you're wondering where they're at, look around. You're them. And everybody's going to be staring at you because you have all the crazy gizmos.
Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm
So let me stop your regular audio. That'll kind of give me a gist of, like, we've been out for 3 hours, guys, just so you know. Like, it's 2 hours and 59 minutes, like, to the dot. So you're definitely going to have close to that 12 hours worth of media coming. Again, I don't time this. We just kind of go. So it is what it is. Most of the time, it averages between, like, 2 hours and 15 minutes to 2.5 hours. So again, you definitely got, you know, an extra 30 minutes out of this.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, with the media, it's definitely going to be closer than an extra, like, hour and a half to 2 hours worth of extra media. All right, so I'm going to collect devices going from right to left. So
I got hers, and I got mine too.
Yeah, so turn your volume. Oh, you already turned yours off.
other side over there.